I received a call from my son's grade 1 teacher years ago. My son had brought the macerated remains of a gopher that the dog had been hauling around the yard for a week to school in his lunchbox under his sandwiches for show and tell. We've seen kids before claim to have wooden knees and get banned from saying the word Jamaica and hand insidious Five Nights at Freddy's fan art to their teachers. And it's this lack of filter which generates good content. So what are these kids going to bring in when they have to show something off to the class? When I was 6, I kept asking my dad if my grandpa had been cremated yet. I started crying, explaining that I just wanted to take his ashes in for show and tell. The teacher across the hall from me had a student who brought what he thought was a lucky rabbit foot to show to the class. The rabbit foot was a tampon. My brother once brought in a lump of our dog's shit because he thought it was neat you could see carrot in it. Mum's only set of car keys: mercury, uncontained open-air mercury. A kindergartner near where I live brought 50 packets of heroin to school. I forgot to bring an item for show and tell. I had a somewhat loose tooth, so I excused myself to the bathroom, casually ripped out the tooth with my fingers, walked back and showed it off to the class. That's metal. A kid brought in their grandfather, not to talk, just to sit there. When I was little, a kid in my class bought one Lego. My daughter brought a dish rag last year, analog face with raised eyebrows emoji. I bought my life-size Speedy Gonzales stuffed animal. This toy was not an appropriate choice to share at school. Thank you. My mother is a school teacher. She had a kid wait in line for his turn. They burst out with, "Good morning, boys and girls. I feel sick," then vomit. In the 3rd grade, a girl brought her mum's kidney stones in a pill bottle. A crack pipe. I taught for a few years and a kid brought in a death note he had made, full of names and the way they would die. The student had my name in the death note too. How you die? Death by bees. My darling daughter forgot her show and tell item, so she gave a speech about me. She informed everyone that I wore black lacy underwear and that I had been fixed, so no more kids. A cyst that had been removed from my aunt that had been preserved in formaldehyde. A durian fruit. Poop that he thought looked like George Washington. By far the most interesting thing I ever received was a mummified foot that a student's father had found in the desert. It showed up on my desk completely unannounced and unmarked. I can't even begin to tell you how jarring it is to open a cardboard box to find a human foot inside. I do have a couple photos of this, but they are a little bit rank, so if you don't want to see, close your eyes in 3, 2, 1. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? You can open your eyes again now. Welcome back. When I was in 1st grade, I didn't have anything for show and tell, so I said, my dad's in the Navy, which he's never been in any kind of military. So it's pretty much, my dad's in the Navy, ask me anything, and people ask questions like, are there bathrooms on the ships? And I just said, dunno. I bought my life-size Speedy Gonzales stuffed animal, a Sprite bottle full of grasshoppers, big rubber chicken, World War II incendiary bomb. My mum was a teacher. She said that almost every year someone brought in a Ziploc bag of poison ivy. This is still so embarrassing. I had nothing to show and tell, so I went up to the front of the class and opened my arms and declared, "It's me!" I think I got laughed at and was told to sit down. To this day, I'm horrified. I brought my Furby to my private Christian school for show and tell. It started talking during prayer. All night, Vaseline, a highly venomous stonefish, some weird lesbian hentai that belonged to my dad, a potato.
Mom, you're always trying to give me potatoes. What is it with you? I just think they're neat.
I bought my life-size Speedy Gonzales stuffed animal on 3 separate occasions. The 3rd time, my teacher asked why on earth I needed to bring it over and over again, and I tried to lie and say I'd never brought it in before. When I was 6, my teacher would have show or tell. At the end of said presentation, you were supposed to say, I am ready for a compliment. Since I forgot to bring something to show, I told the story on how me and my brother were burning worms with a magnifying glass. When I finished, yet short story, I said, I'm ready for my compliment. The teacher told everyone not to compliment me, and that was a horrible story. But, by and large, these incidents are, of course, the parents' fault for having these things lying around in the first place. My main takeaway from this thread is that mums need to hide their vibrators better. Mine's that a surprising number of households own real human remains, and sniper rifles, and drugs, and bats. So, remarkable advice for any parents watching. If you have any of these things, keep them away from your kids. Now, to the comment section, because I'm ready for a compliment.